So we had a heating issue on the last run, so getting caught up. So 2003 San Diego, California. So we got Eddie to come over. This is after 72 hours of nonstop drinking and alcoholic poisoning and alcoholic poisoning at its best. So we persuaded Eddie to come over. Little Thailand Eddie, he's a Thai guy, little Thai guy Eddie, and I talked him into, I think he loved the bowl anyway. I talked him into driving my wife's car. So we go to the bowling alley, and this is after 72 hours of nonstop drinking, by the way. We're very drunk. At least Billy and I, completely out of control. And then we ended up Billy and I ended up getting in a fist fight as we were leaving, which was a nice little scene on the way out of the bowling alley in Mesa Boulevard, in the middle of the day, mind you, like noon, people's lunch hour, and here we are, come rolling through, drunk out of our minds on a 4-day runner, and then we're on Mira Mesa Boulevard, and we're going back to my place. I'm in the back seat. Eddie's driving. Billy's in the front seat. I think I ended up flicking his ears. I think he was being an asshole still. I think we were still kind of riled up from the fist fight in the bowling alley. So I ended up flicking his ears and slapping him in the back of the head. He turns around, 300-pound Billy in this little Toyota Corolla, turns around and basically open field tackles me in a Toyota Corolla. He starts swinging. We're swinging at each other, and Eddie's all, stop! And I remember thinking, what a little bitch. What's wrong with you? Just drive the car. Shut up. And he ends up stopping the fucking car and getting out on a busy 2 o'clock in the afternoon Mira Mesa Boulevard. And so we go back to we'll get back home, and we're partying throughout the day, and then Billy's like, let's go to On the Border and get some food. And I'm thinking, you know what, margaritas sound really good. We ended up, by then it was dark, so shrunk out of our fucking minds. We're in shorts and tennis shoes and t-shirts, and we walk about a couple blocks west on Mira Mesa Boulevard, and it's dark by now, and we ended up getting into another brawl, 2-man brawl, in this grassy area, a lawn next to a gas station, Mini Mart, on Mira Mesa Boulevard. Mira Mesa Boulevard is like 7 lanes wide. There's 3 going west and 3 going east, and there's a turn lane in the middle. It's a huge boulevard in the North County, San Diego. This was 2003, by the way. And we ended up in this hellacious match. I mean, we were even throwing punches at each other. He ends up ripping my shirt. I think he ended up ripping my shirt like halfway off, and I grabbed his shirt and completely tore it in half. Now he has no shirt. I forgot if I still let my shirt hang off my body. It wasn't on properly at all, but I forgot if I took it all the way off or let it hang off like some fucking crazed pirate. So we end up laughing about that, and then on the border we go to have some drinks and get some Mexican food, fine dining. And so we're going across the crosswalk on a apeshit busy Mira Mesa Boulevard at night, in the headlights, across 7 lanes, traffic, And they're all stopped right there watching us. And Billy's all... Now, mind you, what happens to the human mind after 72 hours of non-stop, I would say drinking, but it was alcohol abuse. And your mind and your psyche and your sense of humor goes from gasoline to nitromethane to solid rocket fuel within a few hours. And Billy goes, we're crossing Mesa Boulevard in the headlights, and Billy goes, let's hold hands. And I started laughing. I go, no, let's hold hands and skip all the way across Mesa Boulevard. And, just all gleefully skip. Mind you, I'm 6 foot tall, and I weigh, what do I weigh? 150 pounds, buck and a half, 150 pounds. Actually, to be truthful, 143 is what I ride around. 145 pounds with holding a bag of groceries. And Billy's this big 300-pound drunken ball of psychopath. And we're skipping and holding hands, shirtless, mind you, across Mesa Boulevard in front of all these drivers waiting at the fucking light. Because both edges pour into two giant shopping malls on Mesa Boulevard. So it is packed, especially in the evenings like that. I don't know what day of the week it was. I was so drunk. And then we're like, well, they're not going to let us in the restaurant with no shirts on. So we're going to have to stop over here at this little cheap little shop and grab the cheapest shirts they can. So here we are, drunk out of our minds, 7 p.m. at night, in this little boutique, whatever you call those things, it's clothing stores, go rummaging in between teenagers and their moms and families and buy a couple shirts. And it was uneventful. I think they were kind of laughing at us anyway. But then we go on the border. He orders a big steak dinner. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you about him. That son of a bitch, especially if he was drunk, I don't care what steakhouse we'd go to, he'd say, watch this, I'm going to get a free steak. Every time. He'd eat most of the steak and go, you know what, I'm sorry, this is overcooked, this is not good. I've actually been a cook for 15 years, I know what I'm talking about, and the steak is done horribly, I demand another steak. He wouldn't ask for his money back, he would get another steak and take it home. And it was hilarious everywhere because he was such an asshole. Billy, you Google asshole on Google and you'll get Billy's mugshot right there. Probably his big gigantic belly too. He's got like triplets in there. What do you got in there? Twins or triplets? And so we end up just going home. It was uneventful. There is some stuff that happened. I think I watched him do that night. I can't put here. I can tell you later privately. But I guess I could put it delicately here. He's one of the most cocky sons of bitches on the planet Earth. Just a bastard. But when you're drunk, like I said again, when you're drunk, you make decisions you normally wouldn't make. Like, wow, this is a hell of a storm just rolled in here. We're in a desert. We'll take all the water we can get. So we're standing at one point at that night, in and out of blacking out. We're standing in a parking lot somewhere outside my apartment complex or somewhere. And we're just standing there talking. And he had a habit of doing this. He would literally anywhere, like that night, he would remove his apparel from the waist down, squat, and do the next thing. You can figure out the rest. And it wasn't peeing in the bushes. And just projectile diarrhea all over the blacktop. And I just stand there and watch him. And as drunk as I was just shake my head. You are, in fact, a psychopath and a narcissist. He's got the whole package. But we know each other since high school. You know, we're best friends. So he's the chosen one. So, oh yeah, no, wait a minute. Let me back up a little bit. When Eddie jumped out of the car on Mesa Boulevard earlier that afternoon, it's like a Tarantino film, way out of chronological order. Back during the daylight hours, leaving the fucking bowling alley, we're fist fighting in the car, and Eddie can't deal with it. He stops Holly's 2000 Toyota Corolla and gets out in a busy Mesa Boulevard, 2 in the afternoon day, broad daylight, and I tell Billy, stop fighting. He's gone, I gotta drive. So like Luke Skywalker, I leap from the back seat and land into the cockpit and take off and get us home. I get out of the car, I'm walking, because the parking was so fucked at this apartment complex. If you weren't quick enough in the afternoon, you're gonna have to park down at the lower parking lot, and it's a hike. You gotta hike back up that fucking hill. Good luck in the parking lot up top. So I fucking pull in there. Every goddamn spot's taken. You have your own spot, but my truck was in that spot. Everybody gets one fucking spot, and good luck with visitor parking and overflow parking up at the top parking lot. Other than that, your ass is hiking. I fucking just pull in, get out of the car, and he's yelling at me, and I look back, I'm across the parking lot, and he goes, hey man, you're parked in the red zone, man. This is a red zone, you can't park here, dude. I'm all, fuck that red zone. Went upstairs, and I think I got drunk and passed out. And I woke up the next day just completely fucked up, and I knew I couldn't drink too much. I don't even know if I could make it to the store. It was 4 days of nonstop drinking, alcohol poisoning, and I couldn't get too fucked up. I couldn't mess around, get drunk, because I had to drive that day from Scripps Ranch 20 miles south on the 15 to downtown San Diego airport to pick up Holly, my wife. And she was coming back from her business trip in Denver. And the Scripps, oh yeah, by the way, you know, George Bush already declared Scripps Ranch fire a national emergency. In fact, the president came to San Diego that fucking same 4 days as Scripps Ranch is burning up, and we're on the edge of being evacuated. So we had that going for us. It wasn't until I drove down Interstate 15 from North County, San Diego, from Mira Mesa, down 15 south into San Diego, that we were watching the news nonstop. It was on all the local news channels, 24/7 for the whole time we were on this bender, it seemed like. And we're kind of rooting it on, yeah, burn, mother, no. But, fuck those rich people. We didn't give a fuck about the apartments. We were assholes back then. It's 2003. I was young, stupid, and very drunk. And so I drive down to 15, and I get down to where you could see the city of San Diego normally. I couldn't see shit, and it was dark. It was late. It was getting, it was sundown, after sundown, and it was right out of those movie Hollywood productions of hell on earth. It was the most ominous shit I've ever seen in my fucking... And I'm suffering from alcohol poisoning. Too paranoid to take a drink because I didn't want to drive all the way down there and get pulled over. Smell like... I was just really hurting for a fucking drink. I mean, I was like, my gut was wrenching. And I didn't have anything to heave up. So I was in a very, very bad alcohol poisoned shape. Sorry, I'm distracted. So I drive down, you can see the city of San Diego. No, all you see is this black cloud over the city of San Diego from the Scripps Ranch fire that's been raging the worst fire in California history at its time. National emergency. George Bush, President Bush, landed down there and surveyed the fucking devastation. And I'm driving down to San Diego, and this giant black hell cloud is covering the city of San Diego, and all you see is the cloud itself. The nucleus is black, but the outer part of the cloud, the outer part of the cell of this cloud, was glowing from the city light coming from the city of San Diego. It was, under any other circumstance, I'd be like, wow, it was really cool looking, but I was already terrified in my own head. I gotta explain to her, you're fucking, I'm going down there, I gotta tell her, fuck, dude, your car got towed, yeah, because that morning, the car was gone. It got towed. So I had to tell her, my wife, that her car got towed. The house is completely thrashed from 4 days of just non-stop partying, our apartment. And I drive down there, and I'm like, oh my God, it was so horrible. It was like it was the apocalypse. I'm at the San Diego fucking International Airport. There's really nobody anywhere, and there's little carts driving around, like golf carts, but they're all fucking covered with clear plastic, like they already had this shit that they cover it with, and they're all masked up, and some of them were respirators. It was right out of the fucking ET, man. And I go inside, and I'm just fucking hurting, dude. I feel like I was almost dry heaves from the alcohol poisoning. And I went up to the information desk, and I go, you know what? Do you know I could barely even talk or communicate, and here I am at the fucking information desk at the San Diego airport in the worst wildfire in California history. And I asked this broad, I'm just like shaking and jittering, like, do you know what gate I gotta go to? I'm not even sure where I'm going. And it was completely, I didn't know what I was doing because I didn't plan it. Billy and I were drinking nonstop for over 72 hours, and so she finally understood what my jittering self was talking about. She finally gets to the gate, go get Holly. I think I had to wait for her to come in. First thing I do, because I knew she was able to drive the car. Okay, go through the goddamn terminal, get in the terminal to wait for her, and go straight to the fucking bar and start drinking and start pounding fucking drinks at the San Diego airport. I start pounding drinks. She gets there, and I'm just getting out of the red. Your needle's out. Alcoholics have this thing. Alcoholics have this gauge. You want to be over here. You want to be out of the red. That's where you want to be. Out of the red. Somewhere out of the red, or all the way over here to the fucking green around the gills. And I was feeling a little bit better. I think I slammed like 3 or 4 or 5 drinks before she got off the plane. And I go, honey, now I'm kind of got a little buzz going. I'm feeling better. I got to tell you something before we get home. All right. Oh, by the way, you got to drive. I got to tell you something before we get home. It's just this little teensy-weensy thing. Your car has been towed. Don't worry about it. We'll go to the tow yard. We'll get it out. It's all right. It's all right. The house is a little fucked up. Okay. I'll clean it all up. Me and Billy will clean it all up. 34-year-old adolescents here, and nothing to be proud of. So she goes, and she's like, she's used to me by now. We've been together since 1995, we're going on 10 years. She's used to my bullshit. The house is fucking broken. I'll fix everything. And then we start walking, and I go, one more thing. There's a big, huge hole in the front door. And I will fix that myself. Don't worry about it. I blame that on Billy, and we will get this whole thing. So, talking like a good politician, good diplomat, we'll get this whole thing situated. You'll be just fine. I suggest covering your eyes from the front door to from the front steps to your bedroom would probably be the best idea. I have food coming in. So that was the Scripps Ranch fire of 2003 in San Diego, California.